And now we're at a place where we can pioneer new horizons. Because Earth, this blue planet in all its beauty, is just our starting place.
It's time.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, command engine start, 2, 1.
Oh yeah, look at her go.
5,000 feet and climbing.
Now is the time to open the promise of space to all and lay the way for generations to come. When our descendants look to the stars, perhaps from a rocky moon or colonies floating in open space, they'll remember this time. When they reflect on where it started, they'll remember this place. And when they honor those first explorers who said, "Let's go,"
This is Blue Moon.
they'll remember these bold steps. We are of blue origin. And this is just the beginning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ariane Cornell, and on behalf of everybody at Blue Origin, I'm thrilled to welcome you to our second human flight. 4 astronauts will launch to space and back on board our new Shepard rocket, which has safely flown 17 successful consecutive missions. I'm joined at the desk today with my co-host, Jackie Cortez. What up, girl? How you doing?
Thanks, Ariane. It's so great to be here with you today. It's been amazing to be down at Launch Site 1 the past couple days, meet the crew, see the team hard at work, and shortly we'll have 4 newly minted astronauts, so that's very exciting as well.
A big morning. So glad to have you here with being my partner in crime for the day. Okay, let's get into it. You're going to notice here that we're on a new set. The same winds that delayed our launch just a day also affected our outdoor set. So out of abundance of caution, we decided to move inside just a mile down the road. But we're here in Texas to bring you all the action live. Now, earlier this morning, our astronauts arrived to the Astronaut Training Center. We've got a little bit of footage of that. Let's check it out. So you see they're getting out of those Rivians. Very cool cars, those Rivians. They're almost like rocket ships themselves. And everybody in good spirits this morning, waving. They got that astronaut energy. They are ready to go to space and back, indeed. And there they go inside the Astronaut Training Center. That's where they've spent the last couple of days learning from our crew member 7, Sarah Knights. And we'll go through all of the training that they also have gone through. It's been a big couple of days for them, but I know that they feel prepared and ready to go. All right, that's some good stuff. We've got 4 incredible individuals on the rocket today, all of them inspiring in their own ways, and all of them focused on inspiring others. As noted, today we are flying customers Chris Bosshausen and Glenn DeVries, Blue Origin's Vice President of Mission and Flight Operations, Audrey Powers, and of course, cultural icon William Shatner.
Well, of course. And with regards to Mr. Shatner, many of us pursued the space industry, myself included, and joined Blue Origin because of early inspiration from watching shows like Star Trek. So this is a pinch me moment for all of us to see Captain James Tiberius Kirk go to space. Really? And maybe for today, we'll need to rename our capsule from the RSS First Step to the RSS Enterprise, but just for today.
Well, let's see if the Twitter picks that up. By the way, you know it's serious when you use somebody's middle name.
Right.
It is real. Captain Kirk is going to space today. Now, every mission on this journey is important, and every mission will be unique. So far, 593 people have gone to space up to this moment. But today, we will send numbers 594, 595, 596, and 597 to space and back. And next year, we're expecting several missions more. Every mission with humans on board is an incredibly inspiring shared experience. For example, today, we know Star Trek fans around the world are rejoicing that their beloved Captain Kirk is really going to space. And Audrey Powers, she represents all of us here at Blue Origin and everybody who works in the space industry that shares this collective dream of one day going to space.
Absolutely, present company included.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ariane and I would love to be out there. We wanted to take a moment to remind everyone that this is just the beginning of a cultural shift in our history with the work Blue is doing and the work being done across the entire space industry. We live in an incredible era where people will go to space and from up above, they'll get to see the fragility of Earth. While we can't predict how that will change us, it's likely that as more and more people have this experience that less than 600 people have had to date, there will be a tipping point for humanity's viewpoint of the Earth back here on Earth. So a huge thank you to everyone out there who believes in this mission and to everyone at Team Blue across all of our sites who Ariane and I know work tirelessly to make these moments possible.
That's exactly right, Jackie. And at the center of it all here at Blue Origin is safety. Safety is embedded in everything that we do. Our collaborative environment is grounded in our leadership principles, which are ownership, humility, and technical ambition.
And safety has been baked into the design of New Shepard from day one. It's a robust vehicle designed with high margins. We've actually determined the design can handle substantially more than what we see in flights. The crew capsule has the ability to escape at any moment if a booster problem is detected. There are redundant flight computers, separation systems, parachutes, and sensors, to just name a few.
That's right. And we have backups to the backups. In many of the cases, we got backups to the backups to the backups. So there's so much redundancy built into the system from the very beginning. And as mentioned, we've successfully flown New Shepard 17 consecutive times successfully, including 2 capsule escape tests, plus an additional pad escape test. All of them gone well. Now, driving all of this incredible success with New Shepard is our Blue Origin team. They are professional operators, fully certified through practice and examination, and the team trains for both nominal scenarios, but of course also off-nominal scenarios.
That's right. And actually, for over 12 months before first human flight back in July, New Shepard went through many verification and readiness reviews, both internally, but more importantly, outside of the company. We had external consultants with deep experience on NASA human spaceflight programs that were part of these reviews. And unanimously, this team determined that New Shepard met the highest standards for certification.
And that's what got us to first human flight. But that's not where it stops. We have an ongoing cycle of continuous improvement that has spanned over a decade of development, and that is going to continue indefinitely into the future. We learn after every single flight. So yes, New Shepard is built on a commitment to safety. And with that, why don't we take a look at this magnificent rocket on the pad, ready to fly humans to space today. Jackie, we were just talking about safety here at Blue, and to remind people, we're not in a test program anymore. We spent 5 years, over 5 years in fact, testing, and now we're fully into customer flight operations, and safety has never mattered more. For a greater and even better perspective on safety, a couple days ago, I had the opportunity to sit down with Blue Origin's Senior Director of New Shepard Safety and Mission Assurance, Andrew Lake. Let's hear it from him. Andrew, you have such an important role at Blue Origin. So at Blue, when we say safety is a top priority, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's interesting, this idea of safety as a priority. And there are a lot of ways to think about this, but I see safety more as a core value. that you build a business around. And a business like what we were thinking about for New Shepard and what Blue is doing in general is animated around this idea of safe and reliable systems.
So New Shepard went through this extensive test program, right? And we flew for what, 5-6 years before we put people on board. Are we? How do you know that you're done?
In a certain sense,
instilling safety into both the vehicle and the how it operates.
Yeah, there are a couple ways you kind of go about it. The first thing you have to do is you have to set goals, safety performance goals, safety performance thresholds, to help you understand when you've met those thresholds. But in any program, you're never really done. You always want to look for opportunities to improve the system, both operationally, both for safety, both for reliability as well. And so we always have to maintain a humility that comes with flying rockets with these kinds of energies involved. And so we, and the ops team that we're about to go fly this mission, I've never seen a team more diligent, more patient, and the constant awareness and the vigilance required to say, raise issues and make sure they're addressed before we decide that it's time to fly people.
It's taken a team of people to get to this point, to be flying people on New Shepard. What would you say to this team?
I'm humbled to work with this team. It would be lying to say that 3 people who happen to have voted as part of a much larger tech for human flight certification are the people who decided that we're safe enough. Hundreds of people have put their blood, sweat, and tears into this program. Each of them just immensely individually focused on not just the safety of the system, but the reliability of the system. And then there's the work that our team does to kind of partner with them to help them achieve these goals. I am immensely grateful for the opportunity to work with them, and I'm humbled to have an opportunity to kind of lead the safety mission assurance efforts with this team.
Well, tell me this. Would you fly a New Shepard?
I would, and let me just say this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people at Blue that would be excited to fly New Shepard, and I'm happy to count myself as one of them. It's a fantastic system. It's a very robust system. And yeah, if I ever had the opportunity to fly, I'll wink a little bit at the folks making these decisions. I would be super excited.
Fantastic. Well, I hope we get to go one day.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Well, that was a great conversation, Ariane, and it's clear that Andrew and his team drive a stringent safety approach across everything we do at Blue Origin. Listening
to Andrew really provides some really good meaty context around the safety culture here at Blue and how we implement it, most importantly. Okay, we're at about T-minus 1 hour and 16 minutes to go until launch. In a moment, we'll turn our attention to today's crew. But before we meet them, let's briefly take a look back at our first human flight just 3 months ago.
Hello, crew. Wally.
Feels good to be in the flight suit.
Getting butterflies in my belly.
Crew.
Yeah.
Welcome to launch day.
Amazon founder Jeff Bezos ready for liftoff.
Blue Origin tiene previsto enviar a su primer astronauta al espacio.
Blue Origin 社の宇宙船New Shepardは
New Shepard, космический корабль Джеффа Безоса, вернулся на Землю.
So you can see Jeff Bezos realized the dream he's had since a child.
Just minutes from now, Jeff Bezos is about to blast off into space, and they are ready to go.
The mission comes exactly 52 years to the day after the historic Apollo 11 lunar module touched down on the surface of the moon.
7, 6, 5, 4, command start, 2.
See it right there, Blue Origin has begun its liftoff into space.
There is Miko, main engine cutoff. A beautiful shot. Look at that view.
Oh wow, oh wow. Oh wow. That's incredible.
Oh, that's great!
Can you move?
Hi, Mom!
Woo! Oh, wow, wow. It does change you.
Don't forget to look out the window.
Oh, wow.
That pinpoint landing, I mean, Anderson, that's a thing of beauty for Blue Origin. This is now the third time that booster has flown to space.
Here comes the crew capsule back from space. Here are the mains out. And touchdown. Welcome back, New Shepard.
You call Blue Origin the most important thing that you will do in your entire career.
We need to build a road to space. We have to work on the here and now. And we have to look to the future.
I was right here at the desk that day, and yes, it was quite an emotional experience for everybody involved. You know, watching that video makes me feel like I was part of something that was really special. And today we can feel that same great energy. Why don't we meet the crew that's going to space in just 1 hour? Former NASA engineer and the founder of satellite company Planet Labs, Chris Bosshausen, is a flying customer today, and he'll be the very first full Australian citizen to go to space. Chris is in seat number 4. Another customer flying today is Glenn DeVries. He's the co-founder of medical company Metadata. And fun fact, there's actually a website called Is Glenn DeVries in Space right now? And over the last couple of days, or until today, the answer was no. But today, it says yes. That's super cool. Glenn is in seat number 6.
And in seat number 1 on the capsule today, someone very near and dear to Ariane and I's hearts and everyone at Team Blue is Audrey Powers, Blue Origin's Vice President of Mission and Flight Operations. She is truly one of the space industry's shining stars, and we're absolutely thrilled that she's on today's flight. And by the way, Audrey's a pilot, but today she's going to get a little bit of an upgrade to astronaut. So that's also great.
That's a mean upgrade.
And last but most certainly not least, here's the great William Shatner. He's been in the zeitgeist for over 50 years and is flying to space today in seat number 3. Mr. Shatner is 90 years old, which, having met him, I just can't believe. And as such, he'll become the oldest person ever to go to space. It's a crew capsule full of fascinating people who, in just a short while, will enjoy the ride of their lives. What have they been doing since their arrival here at Launch Site 1? Let's take a look.
When I was a kid, I would make model rockets. There was a book available called the Space Shuttle Operator's Manual, and I would pore over it for hours. The idea that I'm actually going to get on top of a rocket in a couple days is just hard to fathom.
Right. I think I reached a certain age and I had given up on the idea that I would go to space. In my role in mission and flight operations, we were waiting to hear who the 4th astronaut was. One of my very good friends and colleagues, Michael Edmonds, called me and said, on behalf of Jeff and the senior leadership team, we'd like you to represent Team Blue and fly as the 4th astronaut.
I don't know how many billions of humans have ever existed, but fewer than 600 people have seen the Earth from space. The curvature of the Earth, the thin line of the atmosphere, the blackness of space. You know, I'm happy to be one of the people to put my hand up and say, yeah, I understand the risks. I've worked in this industry my whole life. But I think it's important enough that we should do it, and to show other people that this is something that is coming and something that will be available for them and may have some impact in their life in the future. Captain James D. Kirk, I think William Shatner is the best possible co-passenger I could have for this flight. He was obviously a great hero of mine and many, many, many other space people.
Having played the role of Captain Kirk, everybody assigns me the knowledge that a futuristic astronaut would have, but I've always been consumed with curiosity, and it's the adventure that I feel so good doing.
I was teary-eyed at this opportunity has befallen me. It's one of those moments where your life just flashes before your eyes, you know, like the Air and Space Museum when I was 6 and when my parents bought me that telescope, working on the space station and getting this job at Blue. Chris and Glenn and Bill, it's so great because they're great people. It's a wonderful feeling now knowing that our names will be linked forever.
That's really good.
I had the privilege to go through that astronaut training, and let me tell you, it was incredible. And I know that our 4 astronauts today feel very prepared for their journey to space. I have to say, one of the best things, obviously, they make you feel very comfortable with the rocket, with the team, but most importantly, you yourself feel prepared, like you can do that flight to space and enjoy it.
Yes, and I'm still very jealous that you got to do the astronaut training. I know you try and downplay it, but I saw those Blue Origin Blue cocktails at the astronaut village, and I think it was very fun, and I'm still jealous.
It was. We can have the cocktails together.
Well, getting back to today's launch, let's set the stage for how things are going to unfold today. Coming up shortly, at just around T-minus 54 minutes, we'll join our astronauts inside the Astronaut Training Center for a tradition that began on our first human flight, the coin ceremony. This is where our crew member 7, who's responsible for training and flight safety, presents our astronauts with this very special coin you see on screen to fly with them today. Quite a unique and well-earned keepsake for each of today's crew members.
That's right, and from there, Capcom, or capsule communicator, will signal it's time to begin the astronaut load-in process. That's at T-minus 45 minutes. Now, Capcom is crew member 7's other half. On this mission, Capcom is Kevin Sprague. There he is, getting ready for flight. And Sarah Knights is our crew member 7. So for those of you that tuned in for our first flight, they have basically swapped roles for the day. Both of them extraordinarily well trained in both of those roles, and they're both outstanding people to be guiding our astronauts to space and back. All right, we're gonna, I look forward to hearing more from Kevin, actually, because he's got some great words to share with our astronauts once they're on board the capsule and, of course, through their flight.
Yes, and let's step through some milestone moments that are going to unfold right after the coin ceremony. First, at around T-minus 44, we'll get that go for astronaut load. At this point, our astronauts will board those Rivians that Ariane mentioned earlier. They definitely look like spaceships, especially with the juxtaposition of the desert here. Once they're in the Rivians, our astronauts will drive down the road to space, out to the launch pad. It's about 2 miles. And once they get down there, of course, it's photo time, because if you didn't take a photo,
if it's not on the gram, it never happens.
It's not on the gram, you didn't go to space. So they'll get their crew photo at this point, and once they disembark from the Rivians, they'll begin to ascend that tower. I know Captain Kirk and crew probably wish they could be transported into the capsule, but we don't have that technology quite
Our advanced development program is working on it, Jackie. Jackie, we just have to be patient.
I have confidence in them. Once they ascend the tower, they'll briefly be in their safety room at the top, and they're awaiting word to ingress the crew capsule. They'll get all buckled up with crew member 7, and we anticipate about T-minus 29 minutes for that hatch to close.
Now, at T-minus 24 minutes, again, we close the hatch, and that's when Kevin Sprague in Capcom takes over, and we move into the final countdown, which, of course, takes us to the best part, the launch.
And that mission ends once the crew capsule safely touches down back here in the West Texas desert. And then it's celebration time. It's champagne showers.
Champagne showers. Rocket launches, champagne showers.
Right, and we'll have welcomed back 4 brand new astronauts to Earth.
Now, today's crew will have a special guest traveling with them during the astronaut load-in process. Our founder, Jeff Bezos, will be with the astronauts all the way up the tower and to the crew capsule. Some incredible moments to look forward to today. Kind of fun to have Jeff Bezos himself, you know, be your chauffeur out to the rocket. That's not too shabby.
Oh no, that's a pretty special crew member 8, and we're gonna have to make sure he actually disembarks at the end and doesn't want to try and go up with them again.
I know. We know he had a really good time on the first time around. Good thing we got those cameras up there. Okay, Jackie, why don't we take a quick breather here, and let's check out New Shepard on the pad as she gets ready to fly to space and back today with our 2nd human spaceflight crew. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, we're about T-minus 1 hour and 3 minutes to go until our second human crew launches to space and back. In just a few minutes, we are going to bring you the special coin ceremony that we noted earlier. But before we do that, why don't we talk about the road to space? Today is all about New Shepard, but down in Florida, we're hard at work building our orbital rocket, New Glenn. This is the rocket that will pave the road to space.
We took the first huge step with first human flight on New Shepard, and New Glenn is going to be the next huge step for Blue Origin.
You have to put the infrastructure in place to give us a road to space where we could actually maintain a permanent presence in space. And New Glenn is the key to all of that.
The scale from New Shepard to New Glenn is humongous.
New Shepard is the single stage that gets you into suborbital. This takes you to orbital space.
We are building a rocket and a launch site that can put more payload into space than anybody else.
We're going to be launching, Blue Origin developed payloads, lunar landers, and human space flight.
The scale of what's coming with New Glenn is just unbelievable.
This is a huge vehicle. This thing's massive, and it's modern. It's reusable. It's new hardware that's going to be changing the game, and it's going to be the next generation of launch vehicle.
We're in the space coast of Florida, where all the action is, where the history of human space flight started.
It's been amazing to watch this launch site grow up.
First started here, it was a couple equipment pieces here and there, but now it's flourishing. It's super exciting.
It's a huge job to bring a rocket like the New Glenn together. It only happens with diligent teamwork.
It's a lot of dedication from a lot of teams across Blue.
We have engineers, we have electricians, we have technicians.
It takes a lot of teamwork, dedication, just passion for this mission.
It's not about us having a day in, day out job. It's about having a vision that's way bigger than all of us.
Building a road to space to me means paving the way for having that infrastructure to make space more accessible.
To provide access to space for everyone.
Build a road to space means we're working on a legacy that will last 100 years and longer.
I'm Jerry Gleckel.
I'm Emery Coles.
Justin White.
Sandy Lee.
Dave Powell.
Allison Crone.
Kelsey Cromer.
Meg Dalton Hoffman.
I'm Jennifer Oldham, and I'm building a road to space.
I'm building the road to space.
I'm building a road to space.
I'm building a road to space.
I'm building a road to space.
I mean, wow. The progress down at our Cape facility is truly amazing. I'm always shocked at the incremental, just huge leaps forward. I remember the first time I went down to the Cape, the factory had just opened and it was essentially just a large empty building. And at this point, we have over 1 million square feet of manufacturing space, a brand new launch complex built from the ground up. I mean, it's truly mind-blowing.
With hardware being built, and also, I mean, it's not just a building or two, it is a campus down there by now. It's really cool.
That's right. And as you could tell in the video, the road to space is powered by people. If you'd like to be one of the people building that road, we're growing and hiring across all of our groups here at Blue Origin. Come work with some of the smartest people solving some of the toughest and most interesting challenges. Please visit our website for more details. And Ariane, it was great to see some of that progress on New Glenn. Of course, we're taking lessons learned from New Shepard, applying them to New Glenn. And New Glenn is powered actually by 7 of our BE4 engines, that Blue Engine 4. And here's Blue Origin's BE4 Propulsion Test Engineering Manager, Sophia Porter, to talk all about propulsion.
This is Launch Site 1, and specifically the test stand behind me is Zeke's, the Extreme Engine Experiment, which is the home of the BE4 rocket engine. BE4 is a reusable orbital class rocket engine. So we've really focused all of the design and development of BE4 around reusability down to the smallest details. And here at Zeke's, we learn every day in development about the engine. We test it out to make sure that this engine is capable of delivering payloads to the precise orbits that our customers require. We have 2 test cells that are equally capable here at Zeke's. And once those engines are installed, we perform all of our checkouts, we install our ground-based sensors, we run a series of tests, and then we ship the engines off to their next destination. The the individuals who are the life and breath of our site, our engineers, our technicians, our safety and quality and administrative staff, they come out here to make rocket test operations and launch operations a reality. Oftentimes we have engineers who come here right out of college, and within a year they are running engine tests themselves. At 22 or 23 years old, you could be making the go, no-go call for this engine. When you watch that engine fire, when you feel it through 2 sets of hearing protection, you feel it resonate in your body. It's just absolutely pure, raw energy. To watch that happen in real time is incredibly inspiring. And I can only imagine when we watch the rocket actually fly, is going to be absolutely an indescribable feeling.
Engine tests are always happening here at Blue. You've been down here for these tests before, right?
I have, and you can hear it, you can feel it. It's truly unbelievable.
And because we're here in this valley, it just shakes the entire valley. As Sophia said in the video, you just feel it rumbling in your body. And I just love that video because it gives an opportunity to shine a light on somebody like Sophia Porter, who herself, you know, she started out in college as an intern here, and just a couple of years out of college, she is managing that test facility. I mean, that is a big deal, and that's the type of stuff that you get to do here at Blue Origin. Here's one of her beautiful tests that we had going on down in Texas that just happened just a couple of days ago. It's a beautiful pic.
Absolutely, and we've been testing BE4 and BE3 and BE3U out in West Texas for years at this point. And so there's a lot of amazing test time out here at our private engine test facility. And our testing capabilities are actually going to be expanding in a big way down at Huntsville in NASA Marshall Space Flight Center. We've taken over historic test stand 4670. It's tested Saturn V for Apollo, Space Shuttle main engines, and the early RD-180s. It's been unutilized government property for almost 2 decades. And so that stand's gonna come back to life and do a lot of our hot fires as well, in addition to our West Texas capability. And I don't know how we're gonna form the list, but I have to be there for that first test.
Oh, for the first test? Or I thought you say for all of them, because I mean, you're basically gonna live in, in the control center if you do that. No, I mean, as Jackie mentioned, so we're gonna continue to do engine testing out here in West Texas. This is where we do a lot of our development testing on our engines. We've got 2 major test centers. You saw Zeeks there. We also have Geeks, as we call it, which is the other test stand that focuses more on our Blue Engine 3, the engine that is going to be propelling New Shepard into space, but also the BE3U, which is the upper stage variant. There are going to be 2 of those BE3Us on the upper stage of New Glenn. So they're going to continue to do the development testing out here in West Texas. And what's the beauty of being able to use 4670 is basically we produce the rocket engines at our Huntsville facility and basically drive it down the road a couple of miles where we can do acceptance testing, as you mentioned before, we ship them down to the Cape. So really exciting activity from our engines group that have been working so hard.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the other beauties of Huntsville is we're close to our customer, United Launch Alliance. 2 BE4 engines will be on their Vulcan. And so when we're hot firing out in Huntsville, we'll be able to ship them right up to Decatur, which is just a short drive.
Just a short drive there. Yeah, so when we talk about designing rockets and making them operationally reusable, it's one thing to think about the operations, but there's also that same mentality and theme that is driven into the manufacturing element of it as well. So, I mean, it's you know, exciting things that we've got going on. All right, we are at T-minus 54 seconds to go. T-minus 54 minutes and 30 seconds. Excuse me, got a little bit more time than that to go until launch. My understanding is that crew member 7, Sarah Knights, is ready for the special coin ceremony to seal their training and get them underway. Why don't we watch that now?
Who's going to tell us when we're... Oh, we're on. Okay, fantastic. All right, astronauts, I have one last special thing for you. This is a challenge coin that I have right here. Challenge coins have a long history, but classically they're awarded to show that you belong and that you've achieved something of particular interest, right? This is only awarded by crew member 7 to astronauts who have passed training and are just about to fly on New Shepard. All of you have passed with beautiful colors over the last couple of days. And it's my very great honor to present this to you for your flight today. Each of you are just helping us take that step on the road to space and to enable a future where we have millions of people living and working in space to benefit Earth. And you are one of these very few very first explorers and adventurers taking that path with us. So I'm giving this to you today so you can put it in your flight suit pocket, take it with you on your historic journey as you go up. And with this, you are go for launch on New Shepard. All right? Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
Wow. Congratulations, Glenn.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Audrey.
Can you read that, Glenn?
Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you. Maybe if you can hold it in the room.
All right. Heads we go, tails we go. That's beautiful.
You'll be known in history for taking a pioneering first step.
Well, that was really special to
super
watch.
touching.
And incidentally, once that crew flies past the Kármán line, that internationally recognized line of space, they'll be recognized by the world as astronauts and will soon be receiving another special recognition item, their astronaut wings.
So also flying to space with each one of those astronauts, in addition to the coin they're going to put in their flight suit, is a postcard from Blue Origin's Club for the Future. Each astronaut made their own postcard during training.
Yeah, and you can see them here. That art is pretty impressive. I definitely couldn't do that good of a job.
My artistry peaked at about age 7. So
Stick figures are about my ability. There's also thousands of additional postcards flying in the capsule with our crew today. To date, we've flown and returned over 137,000 postcards to all of you out there who've participated. Keep sending them. We'll keep flying them.
So while we're talking about Club, we wanted to give you an update on a few of the 19 nonprofits who received a $1 million grant from Club for the Future. In aggregate, these organizations are collectively impacting tens of millions of students each year. And it's not just sparking their imaginations, but it's materially impacting their education and ultimately their passions. And this is done through immersive curriculum, access to experts, and opportunities to fly payloads, like on New Shepard, and much more. Why don't we take a look at the latest from several Club for the Future partners?
Here at Space Center Houston. As a nonprofit organization, we rely on charitable support to fulfill our goals and aspirations. The grant from Club for the Future is going to enable us to involve tens of thousands of youth.
To have this grant from Club for the Future will allow us to accelerate our efforts outside of aerospace, to create a broad membership of women in STEM so that the young women that we work with can see the wide variety of possible careers.
We at AIAA have the goal of impacting 1 million students a year. Rayon is an example of exactly the kind of people we need for this industry.
My name is Rayon Harris. I am 25 years old, and I am currently an aeronautical design engineer. My dreams, my passion was always airplanes. Joining an organization known as American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, AIAA, the Diversity Scholar Program.
In the air. I've really been interested in space in general, just like all my life.
This is really cool.
I just want to thank Club of the Future for doing something like this. I think having so much money to be able to be donated to an organization like this is absolutely amazing. It can really turn the future of the aerospace in the right direction.
I love hearing those inspirational stories from Club and their partner organizations. I mean, Rayon and Caleb in that video?
Pretty impressive.
Keep up the amazing work, you guys.
Yeah.
We're inadequate.
Yeah, let's be honest. You guys are kicking butt. Keep it up. We can't wait to pass the torch on to you to continue on this road to space.
Yes, and it's exciting to see Club for the Future growing and making a difference. It's also exciting to see these partner organizations making such great progress. Club is very much a collaborative effort. And let's highlight another key partner doing some incredible work with middle school students, Project Janus.
Project Janus, you are go for launch.
Our mission at Project Janus is to engage and educate students with the wonders of space and to inspire them to become explorers of it. We do this through a two-pronged approach. The first is a set of videos in which I, as the host, ask questions of subject matter experts working on the front lines of spaceflight. Thanks to our partnership with Club for the Future, students get to meet space architects, engineers, scientists, and others at Blue Origin. The second is a curriculum of standards-aligned activities designed to inspire students to become explorers of space themselves.
We are teachers making lessons for teachers. We know what will keep the students engaged. And because this is a project with NASA, every aspect of it is going to be a mission-based set of activities.
Students perform data literacy skills, engineering design loop processes, and prototype testing and building of concepts. After watching a video on rocket propulsion, students get to build an engine testing chamber and mix baking soda and vinegar to study rocket propellant ratios. And thanks to Club for the Future, Project Janus students can design postcards that are actually flown into space. Students today will have the opportunity to live and work in space. When humans return to the moon in a few years, it'll be to stay. We believe the best preparation for that new reality is Project Janus, a unique program that instills students with the skill set and mindset needed to be explorers of space.
Very impressive stuff over at Project Janus. My friend Josh Bernstein, he's had a couple of successful TV shows on the History Channel and the Discovery Channel, and it's really lovely to see how somebody like him wants to give back, his ability to touch a lot of people, and he's doing that to harness the potential of the next generation. So kudos to him and to all the kids coming up along this road to space. Future's looking pretty bright.
I mean, what a time that students at all ages in their schools can have a space program. Absolutely. I mean, it really, I know we said it before, it's an incredible era. I'm blown away by all the brilliant kids out there. The future where millions of people live and work in space isn't a tomorrow thing or a next year thing. It's going to be that next generation.
Now, I should say, we mentioned Club for the Future has all sorts of partners that are doing extraordinary work. The club itself does some wonderful work, and actually, down here in Van Horn, our home away from home is Van Horn. Our local team does a lot of work with the local community. I want to highlight one of the projects that we did in some of the local high school students. We collaborated, and they have designed and built, in fact, the very first post box to space. Let's check it out.
The post box to space is the world's very first mailbox that will take letters from the Earth, send them to space, and then return them to the senders.
What a great drawing.
This has been really an unprecedented collaboration between Club for the Future, Van Horn High School, and Blue Origin. It is an immense project that's been taken on by 7 juniors and seniors of Van Horn High School who've decided that they have an interest in welding. They have worked very hard from design all the way up through manufacturing.
Well, we first started off with the cardboard template. After a few weeks of planning and designing, we eventually got into the shop, started welding together the base.
We took the rocket kind of design, put some legs on it, and we're gonna make them look like fins.
We've had a huge number of Blue employees who've cycled through here to help us out in really substantial ways. It would not have been possible without the support of a large number of Blue Origin folks.
It is really great what Club for the Future is doing, that they're even giving us this opportunity to do things like this, coming every week and providing supplies, paint, metal.
I learned how to use a torch, I learned how to weld better.
I learned a little bit more about the process in designing and mocking up a prototype.
I truly hope that the students fully recognize how substantial their postbox is going to be as a landmark in Van Horn. I'd like to invite the students to be the very first to use our postbox. Woohoo! And hopefully will be an inspiration to all of the students who come through the school.
So great to see, again, the hard work that our team down here in West Texas does, not only on testing rocket engines and launching rockets, but also giving back to the community. As I said, the relationship that we have is wonderful. it is home away from home. It feels really nice. The people here are always very welcoming. You know, they see us walking around in our Blue Origin gear, give us high fives. It's a wonderful place to be.
It is. I drove past the post box to space the other day and just loved seeing that new landmark in downtown Van Horn. It was really awesome.
All right, we are at T-minus 45 minutes to go until launch. We are in a brief hold here. We've said it before on webcast prior. We want to make sure that our teams are all aligned. I do understand that our astronauts have made it into the Rivians. There they are. And look who their chauffeur is. None other than Jeff Bezos, also in his flight suit. Jackie, this makes me a little bit concerned. You had a hypothesis that Jeff might just stay on the rocket. That's not the plan for today, just to be very clear.
He's ready, though, if that opportunity arises.
And he's, you know, again, from having flown just a couple of months ago on our first human flight, of course, with his brother Mark, with Wally Funk, national treasure, Wally Funk, as well as our first astronaut customer, Oliver Damon. You know, he's got some important knowledge to impart upon our next crew here. Look, they're having a good conversation in there.
Absolutely. And, you know, we'll have to ask the crew how many stars they would give Jeff for his driving performance. What is his rating? You know, we'll have to check in on that after.
Well, look, I mean, if it starts with the wheels there, I mean, the Rivian it's a nice ride. Talk about rocket ships. Have you been in one yet? Did you get a chance?
I haven't. I've driven past them, but I have not had the opportunity to be inside.
It is
no blue cocktails for me. No being inside the Rivian.
We're going to work on these things, Jackie. We're going to work on these things. But no, I mean, it really is. The first time I got in one, the gentleman who was driving was like, "You might want to put your head back against the seat." And I was like, "What are you talking about? It's fine." He goes, "No, I'm serious." And he accelerates, and we're like, "Oh, we are out of here." It is so much fun, those cars. So yeah, some pretty sweet rides.
Rub it in more.
Sorry, Jackie. Again, we're working on it. All right, we are continuing to be in a hold here. We've said it before. You know, we spent years designing and building these rockets, months designing these missions, and if we need a couple of minutes there, that is, to get the teams aligned, then we're going to take them. So with that, why don't we take a look at New Shepard out on the pad as she awaits her astronauts in their Rivian chariots to bring them out to the pad. All right, thank you everybody for joining us live from West Texas at our launch site 1. We're at T-minus 45 minutes and 1 second to go until launch. We are in a brief hold here. Of course, we want to make sure that our teams are all aligned, that the winds are in bounds. Of course, that has been the story of the last couple of days, are those gusty winds. But again, want to make sure that everything is all sorted for our launch. But while we have a minute here, I want to, we just saw the crew in the Rivian vehicles, and they've been down here the last couple of days. But, the launch to space, the training is part of the experience, but so is kind of the hospitality component at our astronaut village. So I want to show you a little bit more about our astronaut village here. We've got, so the astronaut village itself is just about 10 minutes away from the launch site itself. You can see nestled in the beautiful valley of West Texas. It's built around that fire pit, but each astronaut gets this pretty luxe airstream. It's kitted out on the inside very, very nicely. And our hospitality team, they've got decades of experience, and they really make you feel like you are, like you are part of an adventure. I can say I had the good opportunity of being able to experience this just a couple of months ago as I got to go through my training, and it really rounds it out. And when we built the astronaut village and the hospitality component of this, we wanted to build something that really felt part of this Texas environment. It's not something big and elaborate. It's something that is part of the environment. But of course, at the same time, we want you to feel comfortable. So we brought in a wonderful catering staff. There's nothing like going to space. So you're talking about champagne showers after the launch, but the food and beverage is very nice. There's nothing like a glass of champagne around the campfire.
Absolutely, and as you can see, everything is very designed so that the crew can get to know each other and relax and have that comfort as they prepare for their flight to space. There's Ariane right there.
With Audrey Powers, who's also going out to fly. The bonding, I think that's a really important point that you bring up, Jackie, is the bonding component. I was chatting with Chris Bosshausen, who actually is a good friend of mine, and he was saying one of the things that he's really loved so far about this experience is he really feels so close now, and they haven't even gone to space yet, but so close to Audrey and to Glenn and to Bill through this experience. And again, we have thought about it in a holistic kind of way. So, to all of you that are out there watching, if you want to experience this, the flight to space, the hospitality, the bonding, it is really cool. We encourage you to go to blueorigin.com, click on the link there, fly to space, and let us know, and we'll reach out to you after the flight. Okay, we're at T-minus 45 minutes to go. We continue to be in a hold here while we've got some more time. Why don't we throw it back to the rocket? Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas at our launch site 1 for our second human flight, NS-18. We're at T-minus 45 minutes to go until launch. We continue to be in a brief hold here. Well, if you got some time, let's continue to watch our beautiful New Shepard rocket as she awaits her astronauts. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for NS-18, our second human flight here at Blue Origin. Our team is working on the vehicle readiness. We've got a couple of items that we're ticking off here. This is normal in rocket launch land, so why don't we continue to check out New Shepard as she readies for her flight to space and back today. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are T-minus 45 minutes to go until launch. We are continuing to be in a hold here as we make sure that our rocket is ready to go to space. Otherwise, everything else looking good. We are going to continue to watch New Shepard on the pad as she readies to go to space and back today. All right, thank you everybody for joining us live for NS-18, Blue Origin's second human flight. We are at T-minus 44 minutes and 27 seconds to go. Thank you so much for your patience as our team worked to make sure that our vehicle is ready for flight, and it looks like everything is all set and sorted. And my understanding is, you know what? We are go for astronaut load. How exciting is that? Let's check out the astronauts back in their Rivians here. There they are, ready to go to space. You see in the back left, that is Audrey Powers. In the front right, there's Chris.
Smiles and waves.
Smiles
That's what we
and
like to
waves.
see. And there they go. Chris Bosshausen, Glenn DeVries, Audrey Powers, and Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, have just started their journey to the launch pad, into the crew capsule, and off to space. You can just, I have goosebumps. I can feel their anticipation looking at the,
this is awesome.
Words of encouragement from Team Blue along the way.
Absolutely, there to get the cheers and the hoots and the hollers from Team Blue. Once they pass, they're going to drive about another couple hundred yards out to towards in front of the mission control facility there. Get a couple more words of encouragement. That there, in fact, is their friends and family that have flown down here to Texas to watch them go to space and back. And here they come. They are approaching our Mission Control Center. And just on the right there, you can see what we call the barn. That is the facility where we keep our rockets. Of course, we've got the rocket out there on the pad, as well as the second rocket that flew just a couple of weeks ago. That one is dedicated to payload flights.
It's really amazing to see all the demand we've seen for those payload flights, to the point where we're able to have a full separate booster specifically dedicated to doing this important research and science.
And you know, Jackie, one day we are going to combine those payloads and the astronauts to do some tended payload flights. Just a wonderful opportunity for many scientists and engineers around the world who want to develop their technology. Maybe they don't need to go to orbital space. They just need a couple minutes of beautiful, clean micro-Gs, and that's what they get with these flights on New Shepard. Now you see the two vehicles have taken a left, and they are on their road to space. Jackie, I can tell you from having done the astronaut training just a couple of months ago, so I got to do everything minus get inside of a rocket that was up on the launch tower. But we did all of this because we had to coordinate it, of course. And the drive out there, there's this interesting mix of adrenaline, because you're basically harnessing and containing your own adrenaline. You're trying to kind of level it out, but it's also very peaceful, right? It is this 2-mile road that goes out to the launch pad, out to the rocket, and you're there with your thoughts. You know, these 4 astronauts have been thinking about going to space for a long, long time, and this moment is here.
I have to know what was on the playlist when you drove down the road to space. I know that mine would have an excessive amount of Pitbull. I don't know if that's a little too hype for this experience, but hopefully they're listening to some Rocket Man or something.
Yeah, exactly. Rocket Man was definitely on the playlist as we head out there. Now, Jackie, once they head out the road to space, there is the ring road that goes around the launch pad. They are going to go to the north end of the ring road, and they're going to stop and take a photo, take a couple of beautiful photos right before they get back in the Rivians, head back to the base of the launch tower, where they will ascend the tower and stop in the safety shelter first.
Yeah, and you can see a good view of that safety shelter right now. That's that white box on top of the launch tower.
You can tell that pensive look. They're all taking in the moment as they should. I can only imagine being in that.
I see all smiles from Astronaut Powers, so that's very exciting. Have a good view of that ring road now, which is that circular ring surrounding the launch pad, as Ariane mentioned.
There you go. They're checking it out. Now, from the training to cruising in your Rivians to the launch to the landing, this really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you guys are watching out there and you want to be one of those astronauts on the way to space, really encourage you, visit BlueOrigin.com and click on Fly to Space. We'd love to see you on that rocket. And let's be honest, frankly, we'd love to be on that rocket with you.
If you could put in your note that you specifically want to fly with Jackie and Ariane, maybe we'll see what can be done there. The astronauts are getting out of their Rivian, getting those smiles ready for that ring road crew photo. And Ariane, like you've mentioned multiple times, New Shepard is alive at this point. That booster is just waiting for its crew and it's ready to go. On the right of this shot, you do see Sarah Knights, our crew member 7. She's going to accompany the crew up to the tower and make sure they're situated in the capsule in just a little bit here.
That is a good-looking crew. In fact, while we got a moment here, they're going to get back into the Rivians. Why don't we get to know Sarah Knights and our Capcom Kevin Sprague just a little bit better? We've got a wonderful video to introduce them to you.
The entire vision of Blue Origin is we want to democratize space.
T-minus 10.
You don't need to be a NASA astronaut. You don't need to be a trained engineer.
5,
we want artists
4,
and poets and teachers and scientists to be able to go to space.
1. Shepard has cleared the tower.
Crew member 7 is a position unique to Blue, 2 assigned to each launch. There are 6 people that can fly in our crew capsule. The 7th person is the crew member 7.
This is for real.
This is it. Yeah, other crew member 7 is called Capsule Communicator, and they represent all of mission control and launch operations to the astronauts.
It took me a long road to get here. I spent over 20 years as a fighter pilot at the United States Navy, but since I've been 8 years old, I wanted to be in space. Coming here to Blue Origin is the realization of a childhood dream of mine.
My background is in physics and astronomy. I went into STEM education. I was a teacher for many years. And when the position opened up at Blue, I knew that was me. The fact that I'm crew member 7 and the visible point of our entire team It's such an honor.
The ascent descent position is. Crew member 7 is part teacher, part trainer, and part guide.
They're embedded with the astronauts. They're truly a member of the crew.
They're going to live with you at the astronaut village. They're going to conduct all of your astronaut training.
Spaceflight is complicated, but our astronauts that fly with us will not need to have a complicated view of what's happening. The rocket is autonomous, and all of the safety systems are hardwired into the core.
On launch day, crew member 7 is actually going to walk you up the tower, put you in your seat in the capsule, close the hatch. Capsule Capcom.
The Capcom will then take over as the astronauts take their journey to space. And then as soon as they land, crew member 7 will be there to help open the hatch and whisk them away to the celebration. Our astronauts are one part of a very historic journey.
We're trying to build the infrastructure to get millions of people living and working in space.
So the people who come here will truly be helping us take that first step.
They are in wonderful hands with Kevin and Sarah.
You can say that again.
I mean, you know, with Kevin's military background, that discipline, the rigor. You've got Sarah with her academic background. She's an incredible teacher. The two of them work together so well. They're very different styles, but they work together so well. I can't imagine a better team to be guiding our astronauts through this entire experience. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live. If you've just joined us, we're at T-minus 33 minutes to go until launch, our second human flight. Our astronauts are ascending the tower here, as you can see. We've got the great William Shatner. We have our Blue Origin's very own Audrey Powers, as well as our two customers, Glenn DeVries and Chris Bosshausen, who are ascending the tower as well. And they are being